Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, welcome horns.
Welcome back. Welcome to Adjacent. We are here with one of our adjacent givers. We are adjacent to amazing people. And we have with us today, who do we have in the studio, Shelbelle?
We were introduced to this incredible person through another friend, and we're so glad to have you in studio.
Yeah, her name is Ciji from Louder Than Silent. So we are so glad you're here today, Ciji.
Yeah.
Did you have to travel far to get here?
No, I'm in South Austin.
So
not
you
far
had to
off
come north of the river.
I did.
That is a
I
trek.
mean, it can be. Yes, yes. But
But
I
it's a
made it.
Sunday.
I made it.
Team Southie.
Yes.
I'm a Northie, but sometimes I have to go south of the river too. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Okay, well, here we go.
She works south of the river,
Yeah,
guys.
I do. I work south of the river.
She pretends.
All right. So, Ciji, I'm saying your name right. That is
Yes.
such a unique name. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your name?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
As you might imagine, it's a question I get a lot because
Yes.
not many other people have met a CG before.
Never.
Have you watched the show Knots Landing or heard of the show? Yes.
Have we?
Yes. So CG was a secondary character in Knots Landing. She was a singer in like the nightclub that the main characters would go to. So like it's okay. Dallas was the original. Knots Landing was the spinoff, and she was a secondary character in the spinoff. Like that's how far removed, right? But
Knots
the-
Landing.
Yes, but the fun thing about that is that one year I dressed up as
We
CG.
know CG.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lisa Hartman Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I dressed up as Lisa Hartman Black CG for Halloween one year. So like I went as CG, which was a fun thing to be able to do, which basically just like dress like 80s garb, you know.
But how
like-
much hairspray did you have to wear? for that day?
I was able to tease it pretty well, you know, so big hair is my thing, I guess.
Big hair. You do have beautiful hair. So
Thank you.
I get it. I would tease that. I'd be like, yeah, look at me with my big, beautiful hair. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I've never heard of anyone else being named CG. My name's Jody, and I was named after the boy in Family Affair. It was either going to be Jody or Buffy or Martha Ann, my mom told me. And so luckily they didn't choose Buffy because I would probably be a complete a-hole if I was Buffy. And then Jody is fine. Sometimes I think it's like a little not my brand, but that's all right. We just go with it sometimes.
I love it. I mean, I loved Knots Landing.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
That's fair.
You're not old enough to have
You
watched
didn't know what it
it.
was, but
No, it was off by the time I was
Yeah.
of TV watching age where I would like select my
Yeah.
own shows. Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so you're originally from Pennsylvania.
Yes. Very rural Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
you know, if
Like,
Pennsylvania is like a rectangle, right? Like right in the middle. Like that's where,
Okay.
so like the biggest cities are in the four corners.
Yeah.
So like the farthest point from all of the cities is where
Okay.
I grew up. Yeah. So you were going to say the Amish? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time I go back to visit, like I literally see horse and buggy.
Oh
like
my
that's like
gosh.
it's a real thing.
I find that
Yes.
so fascinating.
Me
Mhm.
too.
Yes.
They make the
So-
best
If anybody is an Amish out there and wants to be on the podcast, we would love to interview you.
and pretzels.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
Great pretzels.
I miss pretzels.
Oh
I
my gosh,
miss
their
pretzels
food
so
is so
much.
good.
Yes.
The bakeries.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Bakeries.
Yes.
Oh my
I didn't realize how
gosh.
spoiled I was with all of that until I left. Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, like this does not exist.
Yeah,
outside
Annie's
of-
pretzels doesn't match the Amish.
Oh my
pretzels. No offense,
God.
I do like a Annie's pretzels in the airport, but I'm like,
Well,
no.
even the pretzel place in South Austin, I mean, the Tiger place.
Oh,
their
Easy
pretzels-
Easy Tiger, yeah.
They're
Their
pretty
pretzels do not
good,
come.
but
I'm
not
sorry.
even close.
They do not come in to the.
No, I could eat those pretzels all day, obviously.
Oh.
All right, so what brought you to Austin?
What a great question. So I had lived on the East Coast my whole life. I was in DC and was getting priced out of DC. And
Came here and got priced down.
yeah, surprise. Yeah, who would have thought? So was just like looking for places that would be friendly to a food business. So I was doing independent restaurant consulting at the time, was planning on starting a food business somewhere and was anticipating that being here, right? Austin is known to be very food friendly, small business friendly. And so it seemed like a great fit. Also, I liked the concept of no winters. And so I was like really looking for a place with no winters, and found that here. And then
you were CG, so you're like, I need to be in Texas.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like I was still like I had clients back in DC and moved here like while I was still finishing projects there, and it's kind of like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting, like, not for a job, not for school, just because it called to me. Yeah.
Not for a partner, you just moved by yourself, untethered.
Well, I did move here with a partner at the time that we are no longer together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
almost like you threw a dart at a board and said, let's go there. Yeah, Shelley moved to...
I think it was a little more
probably
analytical.
more, but Shelley moved to Jackson Hole for a while untethered.
I did not throw a dart either. I was like, yes, please.
Yeah. Yes. Then she... had to get back to Texas somehow. And then you were in a culinary school, it looked like. You became a chef. And tell me about becoming a chef. I just always wish that I had any cooking abilities. Zero zilch, nada.
I have no desire, but I'm inspired by it.
Yes. So I had always wanted to be a chef, like ever since I was a little kid. And I grew up in the middle of nowhere. The fact that I knew what a chef was is still confusing to me. Like, I honestly can't figure out, because I wouldn't have had a context, right? So it must have been on a TV show or something. Because I cannot figure out like how I ended up at 8 years old being like, I'm going to be a chef.
Yes.
And that was my path. So my first official job, I should say, was in a restaurant. And I was working for somebody who had graduated from the Culinary Institute of America, and I had already gotten in. And I said, I'm trying to decide between like baking and cooking, and he's like, well, pastry chefs can always become chefs. The other way around doesn't really work. And so I decided to go to school for pastry, like based on this recommendation. And so my degree is in baking and pastry arts, which is kind of fascinating now to think of, like, given how my life has unfolded. So after I graduated, I worked a few different bakery jobs, and then like really missed the type of creativity that I enjoy, which is recipe development and like menu planning and that sort of creativity.
Oh, right.
And so then I switched back into savory cooking again after a few years. And so that was what ended up kind of being the stepping stone into the nonprofit world. I got hired as an executive chef for a nonprofit. So like that ended up being kind of how I got my foot in the door.
What nonprofit has an executive chef?
Yes, tell us more.
Yes. So this was in DC. The place is called Miriam's Kitchen, and it's a homeless services provider. So you know it as a soup kitchen, except we made everything from scratch.
Okay.
We it was a big into like a food waste initiative, right?
Yeah.
So like we would rescue food. We had trained professional chefs and cooks on staff, like people who had worked in the restaurant industry, and we would make food for the folks experiencing chronic homelessness in DC. And yeah, so that was how
I was like,
that
wow,
connection.
What nonprofit has
Right. Yes. So, I mean, it would be known as like the director of kitchen operations or, things like that. But it was really like I got to develop the menu every week and,
Fun.
Got to figure out what to do when you get literally 400 pounds of habaneros and you're like, all right. That's a lot of
That's
habaneros.
A lot of creative energy
Yes.
right there. You really have to think of something.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like a cooking competition show.
It is.
Like, plus you're feeding 200 people at a time.
But it's
right?
it's like the show, like
Wow.
a competitive show. I would match it to Alone. It's like you're having to figure out.
Yes. All these pieces.
Yeah, you're dropped in Australia and you have to figure out where to find food. And wow.
Yeah, so got to figure out where to find food, and then we
Hey,
also...
Bravo. Hey, Andy Cohen. We got a show idea
yeah,
for you.
Exactly. And then also, like volunteer piece of it too, right? So like, yes, we had like trained professionals on staff, but we were also having teams of volunteers come in. Some had never held a chef's knife before.
Yeah.
And then some were also professional chefs as well, right? So we had the whole gamut of people coming in, and we had no idea on any given day
Who was going to show up?
and like what level of skill set they had. So it was a really like All right, I'm going to
What
be
a
on my
skill set.
toes. Yes.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, learning how to be
What a
flexible.
brilliant show, man. I would like to see that in
That's
action.
incredible.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So what's your favorite thing to make?
Oh, that is.
If you had a radish.
Yeah. Radish, a stick of bubble gum, chocolate sauce.
You needed to feed 40 people. What would you do?
Yes. So the type of food I like to cook the most is, I would say, like international comfort food, right? So like I never had specific training in like one cuisine where it's like a really deep dive into that one cuisine, but I got to kind of know the like, oh, like this is what like home style cooking looks like and feels like from X place.
Yeah.
And so like that's really what I enjoy is the finding the like little trove of like, oh, like this is like what somebody would have if they like had a cold and they live in Thailand, right? Like, so that is that kind of stuff.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's
And especially working with the homeless. We have volunteered with Mobile Loaves.
Mobile Loaves.
Yeah.
For
great
years.
folks. Yeah.
And so you definitely want to bring comfort items and
Yes.
bring them some joy and peace and
For
stuff like
sure.
that.
Yes.
I always wanted to, like, I bagged up like mixes of cereal
Mhm.
because they don't get a lot of like Lucky Charms and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's such a comfort thing.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
Yeah.
what are those? Because I don't cook. So it's like,
Well, they
were-
love boiled eggs.
Yeah, they love
Yes.
Boiled eggs,
but
which
it's
I'm
the
really bad at
comfort
making a
thing.
boiled egg.
Yeah,
it
no
can be
thanks.
surprisingly complicated.
Eggs,
Yeah.
they say, are the hardest to cook and
Mhm.
stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
what one of your first tests are in the culinary world, right? I know.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
like, so right now you are one of the main people that is heading Louder Than Silence. It's
Mhm.
an organization.
You
It's a
started it.
nonprofit. You were one of the
I'm
founders.
the founder. Yeah.
And tell us about how you developed the Louder Than Silence nonprofit. How did this happen with you in your
Yeah.
life? You don't have to go deep into all the details, but how did you know that this was such a need out in
Yeah.
the community?
So, as I mentioned, I moved to Austin with the expectation of starting this food business. And this is connected because I also knew once I moved to Austin, I was going to start this particular type of therapy called EMDR.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to do it in DC before I moved. I knew I was leaving, right? So like I wanted to like fresh start in Austin. So I was in EMDR and I was about several months in and I was coming home from this session one day and I had just like huge weight lifted that particular day and was kind of just like reveling in like how much my life had changed and like how much my anxiety level had dropped and reactivity. And it was like beyond what I could like describe, just like sitting in this moment of just like deep gratitude for like how much better my life was, that it felt almost magical.
It is
like,
magical.
Yes.
Highly
And
recommend it.
yes, me too. And so I was like driving home and I'm like, this is so amazing. But why am I paying for this? Like, haven't I paid enough? Like, shouldn't he be paying for this? Shouldn't like
Right.
somebody else be paying for this?
Right.
And, I was doing it because I'm a survivor of sexual violence and like that was the trauma that I needed to work through. And so then I was thinking of other survivors that I had talked to who also wanted to try it, but like, yeah, I can't afford it. I'm like, well, I can't afford it. Like,
It's very
what's the
expensive.
plan? Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out how to get funds for other survivors to get EMDR because like we have paid enough.
Right.
And like that was my whole business plan. Like I'm going to figure out how to do this.
I
I don't
love
know
it.
what it looks like. And and that was just the jumping off point. So the initial thought, like our flagship program was, okay, we're going to pay for EMDR. We are going to pair people in EMDR with people who've done it, right? Because it's like a very intense therapy. It's a very specific type of therapy. So kind of having this like buddy program, right? Because,
Smart.
we know then like the success rates are higher if you have peer support. And then it became very clear of like, oh, we need to be having community support in general.
Right.
And so then we build out workshops, retreats, book clubs, writing clubs, reunion meetings, you name it. So we have all these different community connection points now for the purpose of like, right, when you have a group of folks that just understand you, who get it,
Right.
you are much more likely to be able to keep taking steps forward, whatever that looks like for you, right? Like, and we are not prescribing what that looks like for people. we do obviously highly recommend EMDR because of how like transformative it is. But it's like, all right,
good.
whatever it looks like for you, we're here for it.
Yeah.
And like, we're going to keep showing up for you if you want to keep showing up. And the thing that I particularly love is that it's offered at no cost to participants. So
Wow.
every single thing that we offer, totally for free for the people involved.
Which is mind-blowing because y'all offer so much.
Yes. But the thing really is, like, survivors have paid enough. Like, we know the emotional toll, even the physical toll of having been through all of these things. And so let's remove the financial burden of healing, right? And so like that's really what we're working with here.
Yeah.
So EMDR, for those of you out there that do not know, it's an eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a psychotherapy for people who have suffered from PTSD and other traumas related to issues. And so it just helps you
little T's or big T's. I mean,
Little T's add up.
Little
Yeah.
T's, big
Yes.
T's. They don't have
tiny
to be
cuts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be transformative. It can be very helpful. It can bring up some past traumas, but it's going to help you to work through those traumas to help you process what has happened in your life. And so you guys provide a venue or an avenue for people to get that healing in a community of other people that have gone through EMDR or the same traumas. And you're saying, and it's help with the cost because it can be extremely expensive to do these therapies.
Mm-hmm.
On an average, people have to go through multi-EMDR sessions, correct? And so if you're thinking about a therapist, it can be, I don't know.
$170, like I've done it. So $175
per session.
and that's with my therapist. Some of them are $350, some of them are $700, depending on your therapist, and they're charging. I mean, and where they are in the country or whatever. And so and I feel like 175 was very generous. And I went through 3 sessions and so powerful, so healing. I highly recommend it. If you have something in your backpack that you've been carrying for 5 years or plus, no matter what level of trauma, give EMDR a try. It's so impressive.
Yes.
Yes.
It truly changes lives. I can't describe that any better than it is life-changing. As cliche as that sounds.
No, it is.
I wish there was a better way because I've been trying to figure out how to demystify it, how to get people to understand that it will impact your life in a positive way beyond what you can imagine.
Agreed.
Yes.
And our niece, Morgan, is getting certified in EMDR right now.
Wonderful.
Great.
I love that.
And,
Yes.
I'm very proud of her. When I had carried this trauma in a blade underneath my shoulder, the spots, and whenever something would trigger it, I couldn't move my arm, I would feel it, and then it expands and it's everywhere. But during the session,
the body keeps the score.
The body keeps the score.
Yes.
Which I learned because you brought that book to my friend, and thank you very much.
Yes.
I love Body Keeps Score.
So, do you mind real quick if I interject? That is the book that convinced me to try EMDR.
Yeah.
The body keeps the score.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because it was the first time I had heard a real explanation of what is it and what am I opting into?
Yeah.
And so it again changed my life. And so
Well, no,
yes.
but you don't realize all of this trauma is being placed somewhere in your body. If you think about it, it is being placed somewhere in your body and you're carrying it. And it's causing cancer. It's causing MS. It's causing autoimmune disorders. If you do not deal with it, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Mind-blowing.
the rates of, like you mentioned, autoimmune disease, cancer, dementia, all of those things are directly related to unaddressed traumas.
Yeah.
And even just physical limitations, as you were mentioning.
Yeah.
I'm currently in the I'm referring to as the bodywork phase of my healing process, which means that I'm specifically working on the parts that still feel kind of stuck. And like just how intense that is, even with all the other
Even though
work.
you've done the EMDR and removed the seed of it,
Right.
your body had been overcorrecting for so long.
For decades.
Now you're
Yes.
having to
Yes.
do the body work. Oh, I love that.
Yes. And
It's so powerful.
it is. Yes.
When I went through the EMDR session and that spot,
Mhm.
it felt so surreal. It was like you could visually see it leaving your body.
Mhm.
That's so
It's-
insane. And I think like the important thing is everybody try to do the work, and you're giving them a venue and a place to do that
Mhm.
with a lot of
Yes.
support in the community as
Yeah.
well as like just
I could talk about this all day.
I know.
Me too.
Shelley.
And I do. So.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
So you also have a podcast called Louder Than Silence, where
Mhm.
you explore the ups and downs of life after
And we're gonna share
sexual
it.
violence, which
Great.
we'll
Yep.
get into the notes. So please get in there if this is something that you want to explore more and ways to get some supports, as well as if you know other people that have suffered these traumas, then you can help guide them to their healing place and their
Can we
journey.
speak to that? What specifically? I know you mentioned it a little bit, but what is your group supporting?
Yeah, yes. So our official mission statement is that we provide long-term care, community, and resources for survivors of sexual violence at no cost to participants. And the way we define survivors of sexual violence is anyone who has experienced sexual harm and needs help recovering from it. So it could be childhood sexual abuse, it could be sexual assault as an adult, it could be incest, trafficking. So we have folks kind of with a wide array of experiences, but the common threads still exist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And is it all
Ages?
genders, ages?
Yeah.
So we help folks over 18 currently. So we do help specifically adults. And our programs at the moment focus on women. It is not that we don't want to help all genders. It is that we have more people requesting help than like we can, we need to scale
Sure.
at a reasonable pace. And so like very much on the radar, very much something that I care about. And also like we need to be able to expand in a sustainable way.
Yeah.
So we've had folks from 18 to 60 plus in our program. So we try to make it as inclusive as possible given kind of the constraints of the size and that we're growing.
And you're in Central Texas.
So most of our folks are here in Central Texas, but we have had people in, I believe, 17 states now participate in our program. So obviously they're interacting with our virtual options.
Sure.
And
Okay,
then
so there's virtual options.
Mhm,
That's
yep.
nice.
Yep. And then we do offer, in-person physical events. So like, for instance, our retreat. And so it's really amazing to see people like flying in from other places so they can come to like the weekend retreats and things like that. So, getting those connections even across state lines is amazing.
How often do you do retreats?
It feels like often.
Well, so we do an official like weekend retreat once a year. We've also offered like day retreats a few times, and we're kind of like dabbling in a few different options of like length of time and all of that. So, so a little bit TBD at the moment, but we offer many connection points around like self-care, taking time outside of your like normal hectic life to take care of yourself. So if we're doing a 4-hour event, is that a half-day retreat or is that just like an event? So that's what we're trying to sort out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a network of other organizations doing similar work? Or are you a lone wolf?
So we are connected to other organizations. Most organizations that do work in this area do like crisis intervention, right? Which is obviously very needed and like, yes, all day long we need crisis intervention.
Of course.
I have not had connections with other organizations that do the long-term piece, right? Like that in terms of the continuum of care, typically somebody gets out of crisis and then there's a year or two of support and then it's kind of like, all right,
Good luck.
yeah. And so like that's where we're trying to step in and really make sure that people feel like, all right, you still have resources, you still have hope for things getting better.
For sure.
And so
Definitely highly needed
Yes,
because I think it's such an ongoing trauma does not go away all the way. You have to constantly work at it. It's like a workout routine.
EMDR.
It can help.
Yes.
You still have to do your like body check-ins and do your like make sure you're following those those exercise regimens in a way, so mentally and physically. I will tell you that
can we speak to that? Because I feel like that the two things that we really focus in EMDR, I have a completely different experience with those thoughts now.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is the point of EMDR. I don't feel like it's come back.
for you,
For
yeah,
me.
but I do think,
That's why I wanted to
yeah,
speak
but
to
it can be healing for sure.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, so the reprocessing part of the R, right?
mhm.
It does allow for like, oh, I was in this thought pattern previously.
Yeah.
And now I've reprocessed
It's
and I'm
changing
in
the
this like
lens.
different thought process. I think what we see a lot in our community is like we go through EMDR, we go through this process of like, okay, like I've addressed all these different things. And then like as we keep healing, there's kind of this like new revelation of like, oh, there was this other thing that I did not know was even like lurking in the background.
Yeah.
And so it's more of this like awareness of like the next
Nice.
layer.
Yeah.
And so like, yes, when I look at my own healing path, the things that I struggled with and that I went to EMDR for, like check the box, like not a struggle. It's the other things that have come up since
Because they were buried.
because they're
Uh-huh.
right. And
Yeah.
so those are the things I think kind of to your point where it's like, all right, I have the tools. Like I know how to like work
Uh-huh.
through this thing now. I know how to give myself the space for it. I know that, okay, if this tool doesn't work, I have to move on to this one. And if this
Yes.
doesn't work, I move on to this one.
No.
And so you gain this understanding of how to create that space for yourself in the process. And knowing that when you work through these big, whether it's one big T traumatic event or a series of small T traumatic events, that you work through those and then they are like, you're not dealing with the PTSD with it anymore. Right. And so it's more of the like, all right, I've continued down this journey. What's the next thing that's going to bubble up?
Right.
And you know, I'm about 10 years into like really facing this and like working through it. And the things that come up now, I used to refer to it as like being sideswiped, right? Like that's how it felt. Like something would hit me and I would just be like out of commission. Like it could be days where I just like would not be able to function. Whereas now, like if something like comes up and I feel kind of emotionally sideswiped, it's like, well, that's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's a very different response.
That's a different response.
That's a very different response.
Yes.
Right. And it's like, okay, I might like need to like call somebody and talk through it. I might need to like, you know, take some time to like process and like I can keep functioning and living my normal life now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to kind of sidetrack on this. In schools, we've been really pushing consensual touch, and I just think families, parents, caregivers, we have to teach people it's important to get consent. It's important that everybody feels safe.
Yes.
I have kids, if they're having a hard day, I'm like, would you like me to give you a hug or a high five? And then if they step into my body bubble, then I try to explain to them, like, remember, we have to ask, we have to get consent. And I know it seems like, why are we here now? It's like, well, we're here because of forever's levels of people not respecting other people's boundaries. And so people need to feel safe. And so I think it's important that we always, ask before. And so we teach that. We're modeling that now in the schools quite a bit. And I know it seems like, that could be a hurdle, but I think it's important. So just be mindful, people out there. Like, some people are not huggers, like myself. I'm very much like, I don't want people just coming into my body bubble. I need
I
I
did to
need
you.
the wide
It's
girth,
okay. Yeah.
So let's all just be mindful of it. It's like it goes further in that, of course, but I think if we start at a young age, we can teach people, respect for everybody. So anyway, I just want you to know, like, there are other, side little things going on that people are trying to help people through this, different things. But, okay. How do people support your group? How do we get the word out more and more?
And do you have a national plan?
Yeah.
You want to take this on the road? I'm just wondering your long-term plan. Sorry. You're like,
How do they get in
Question.
contact
Right.
with you,
Yes.
and how do we support your
Yes.
nonprofit?
Well, the best way to support our work is to join our survivor support network, which is a group of monthly donors who are like, "Yep, I'm in it." Shelley's one of these
That's right.
lovely supporters. But having that consistent support really allows us to know, okay, we can grow in this way, we can offer this resource, and all of that good stuff. And I think it also goes to show that it is a bigger network, right? We have our survivor community, and it's super important that they have each other.
Yes,
And it's also vitally important that it's not like, okay, we're still on our own little island,
exactly.
right? Like we need all of us working
Yes.
together
Yes.
to be like, yes, this is a thing that should not exist. And if you've experienced this harm, like we are here for you as you're recovering. And like that is what this network really shows the people in our community is that, all right, like people care about this thing and like they care that I'm hurting and they want me to heal.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, and I have to say, y'all's numbers are staggering.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at the data on it, and I was like, I mean, I thought it was like a 5% situation.
No.
It is a 36%.
Yeah. So the latest.
So this is everybody's business, you guys.
Yes.
This is an epidemic.
Mhm.
Epidemic.
Yes.
And so the whole Me Too movement, everything, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Step in.
I mean,
Get in the arena.
Yes.
Support.
Please.
I love that.
Please
Please.
do. Yes.
please.
Yeah, the latest CDC stat is 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men.
I mean, y'all.
That's too many.
I have a child with autism, and we're 1 in 33,
Mhm.
which is staggering. This is 1 in 3.
Yes,
That's
yes, which is
insane.
right. And I mean, if you think about any room that you're in,
Yeah.
right, any room, and you're like, all right, there are 10 women in this room.
Right.
Like we can know, like, you know, there's 3 of us here. Like I am outwardly talking about the fact that I'm a
3 of 'em.
survivor, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
here we are. And
Right.
and so I think if we frame it that way, I think it's helpful to see that there's kind of this sense of like people who survive sexual violence are like over there,
They're
right? Like
not.
it's those people. It's
They're
like
your mom.
people-
They're your daughter.
right.
They're your cousin.
It's the
they're
people on your
son,
podcast,
Yeah.
right? Like
yes. Yeah.
And they're your brother. They're your dad. I mean, it is
Yes.
staggering.
it is. And I really like that's one of the things I want people to know is that it's like quote normal people
Yeah.
who are experiencing this.
Sure.
Like I often kind of get like one of the myths that I bust is this like, oh, it's people who are like actively using drugs. It's people who are
No.
like in prison. It's people again, like
no.
people in gangs, like people like over there. And it's like, no, like
it's your teacher. It's your doctor.
Yes,
it's your. I
yes.
mean, let's go.
it is
it's-
like
it's-
every day, every person who's hearing this interacts with multiple people who are survivors.
Yes.
Like that is something I can guarantee.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so like knowing that, what are we doing about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And like this is what I'm trying to do about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so you can go on the louderthansilence.org.
Mhm.
That's your fastest way to connect, that you can make a
Become a
charitable
monthly donor.
donation. Make it mindful. Teach your kids to ask for consent. Teach your kids to also speak up if something does not feel comfortable. It's okay for them to be like, that, so and so made me feel uncomfortable. Don't, sweep it under the rug like we did in the 70s and 80s. Let's just be out front. Like, you can't make my kid feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then you, as a person, just be mindful as to what we're doing. We want everybody to feel like loved and supported and treated in a way that respects who they are and what their needs are. So those are great ways to get involved. And I just love the work you guys are doing. How do you take care of yourself? How do you unwind? Like, where do you go to eat? You're a chef. Like, we want to know some of that stuff too, CG. Like,
Yes.
how do you unwind? I know you have dogs. What are the names
Yes.
of your dogs?
My older dog is Camino.
Camino.
From the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage trail in Spain.
I love that.
So that also touches on the fact that I enjoy hiking and backpacking.
Nice.
Yes.
And so named him after my little homage to having done 130 miles on the Camino
Wow.
de Santiago.
I'm in. Let's do it again.
And yes. And my younger dog is Chubbs. He is the skinnier of the two dogs, naturally. But yeah, they're my little rescue boys. By little, I mean they're 85 pounds.
Yeah.
So
They're
yeah.
huge.
Yep. And otherwise, I'm very introverted. I love like
Most
quiet,
hikers are.
alone. Yes, yes, that's true. But I really enjoy gardening. Like that's like this is the time of the year in Austin, right? To like really be like
Yes.
getting the garden going. And so
Where do
I've
you
been-
garden?
the backyard has a little plot, and so I do vegetable gardening.
Nice.
Right, so
I
I
need
can.
some tips. My
Take your
garden
garden.
looks like doo-doo right now. Not gonna lie.
Yes, but playing in the dirt helps to like literally ground me.
Yes.
Like yes,
Literally.
literally, yes.
That's a whole therapy session right there.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
sure. I love to be in the dirt.
Oh,
It's like my
yes.
favorite thing. Where do you love to go eat around town?
Oh, I feel like there's part of me that's just like, should I protect all my favorite spots so nobody
No.
knows?
Let it out.
Um,
Don't be a
yeah,
gatekeeper.
No, I'm not going to be a
Good.
gatekeeper. I would not ever do that to you. So I love Julie's Noodles.
Julie's Noodles.
It's a Chinese noodle spot, up off of 183, like by the Mopac.
It's where
like,
the best
exit.
noodles in town
Yes,
are.
so
Yes,
good.
183.
Yes, so that is like one of my go-to
Mhm.
spots. And then in that same shopping center, there is a Szechuan Chinese place called House of Three Gorges. That is also like one of my favorite go-to spots in the city. And I'm trying to think of what something that's south of the river that I want to plug. Somebody turned me on to Cypress Grill.
Oh, we love Cypress Grill.
walking
Yes.
So
distance.
delish.
And
To me and our mutual friend's
Yes.
house.
Yes.
Yeah, it was probably mutual friend told you about it.
I love Cypress
no,
Grill.
it was
So
actually
good.
somebody else, but I've met her there a few
Okay,
times
okay.
since. But yeah, it's a
So
fun
good.
little place. Yes,
Lickable
so-
plates all day long.
Lickable
Yes.
plates. Oh my
Yes.
Great
gosh. I'm
brunch.
going to try all these. My kids
Cypress
love the
Grill.
noodles. I love it. Okay, as a chef, what's your go-to cooking meal that you make at home?
What? Ooh, my go-to meal. So I love making soups.
Yes.
I'm a soup lady.
You don't get to enjoy them much here.
No,
Too hot.
I'm one of those people though that like it can be 108
I
outside
love
and
hot
I'm
food.
still eating like a bowl
Oh.
of but I like have discovered since working in restaurants for so long, I got so used to eating like room temperature food because you never have, but like soup stays hot for so long that I think that's why I
Yeah.
love
Yes,
it so much
I love hot
because
food. I cannot
yes,
That's one
stand
of her
cold food.
biggest
Yes.
pet peeves.
I'm like,
is
Don't bring me a
lukewarm
hot
food.
plate with cold food on it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so at home I'm often, especially with a garden, right? So it's like, okay, like what's available.
Fresh.
Yes.
And that's the style of cooking I like is just like,
Nice.
all right,
Very
like
fresh.
we were talking about. I have a radish, I have chocolate sauce and a stick of bubble gum. Like how am I making dinner? So I think soups really allow for kind of that like fun
Yeah.
It does,
creative.
Yeah.
definitely. My
Yeah.
husband loved to make yummy, yummy soups. Okay, I know you're a reader.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite genre?
My favorite genre is probably historical fiction.
Okay.
Me too.
Um,
I can't wait.
Yeah, so I would say historical fiction / like realistic fiction. Like I don't know how
Yes.
else to describe, but like normal human experiences.
Yeah, I'm not a fantasy
no
person,
fantasy.
other
Yes.
than Harry Potter, but that
Yes.
was like years ago. But
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was more for our kids. but
yeah, I
Yes.
loved it too.
Well, it's actually for me.
So we do a little side, one of our facets of our diamond adjacent is we do a book club.
Will you come on? Will you come
for
on
the
and talk books
adjacent.
with
We can
us?
talk books
Sure.
with you.
Yes,
Okay,
I would
great.
love that.
What's your favorite book, or what book are you reading right now? Because sometimes it's hard for people to pick their favorite book. I think that's really hard.
It is hard.
So I can tell you both.
Yeah.
Do it.
Um,
I'm writing it down.
well, I'm gonna say my favorite author is Kristen Hanna.
Done.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. So
I would say, I would venture to say she's probably the best of our times right
yes.
absolutely. So I just recently read Between Sisters from her. So I haven't started a new one yet from her. But I'm reading Deepak Chopra's Ageless Body, Timeless Mind right now, which is
Okay.
like published in the 90s or something. And so it's talking about like the quantum ways to make sure you don't grow old. And it's like kind of like the concept of it is a little like I mean, if I'm being honest, it's like a little bit goofy how it's like framed, but it's this like challenging the concept of like how we expect to age.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been this really kind of fascinating, like, oh, like this is challenging my own assumptions about what it means to like grow into an older human. And so like he talks a lot about like studies where it shows like, you know, people over the age of 100, like their habits and all those sorts of things, but it's kind of framed from this like mindset perspective that if we expect to be 110, then we make decisions so that we end up
So I need to stop
Right.
saying I'm here for a good time, not for a long time.
Agreed. Agreed. Please.
And you get to do whatever you want, right?
Deepak
Like that is
Chopra, ageless body, timeless mind. Shelley loves a good
Self-help. anything.
Yes.
book.
Yeah,
I'm
down.
like, I get a little like, okay, I
Especially-
know. I
she
already
reads
know
all
what I
the-
need to do.
She reads all the murder
Well, I
crap.
did love Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. It's a beautiful
that was my first
book.
one.
And I do
Yeah.
love how she steps into relationships with women's sisters, like,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
how they all band together or,
Yes.
you know, have those complicated relationships. She's a
Yes.
really talented writer. No.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We would love for you to come on our book club. It's really fun and
That's
easy.
very
And it's
selfish.
just,
Yes.
it's virtual. And we just talk about books. And we used to give it a rating, but then we talked to Ashley Manley, a writer, and she was like, it really hurts my heart when people say I'm, you know, ding me.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, we won't ding, but we will
Well, she was
say, we really
modifying
like
her-
this book.
She was
Or,
modifying
you know,
her writing.
She started changing her
people-
books up because somebody would be like, I think that person sounded like they weren't a very good character. And then her spouse was like, please stop doing that. Your book is great. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
People are going to have their opinions. It doesn't mean, and it's kind of like when I go to a restaurant and maybe the food's not as hot, but the plate was hot. We stopped giving it like, we stopped, we know people are doing their best, and we know I'm not a writer, so how am I supposed to really know, you know? But these sound great. Okay, well, this is exciting. Anyway, well, I've enjoyed this interview, and I really think what you're doing is God's work, louder than silence. You're helping people that have gone through terrible trauma, but they're finding their way out of it through healing, through EMDR and all of your community outreach. I'm so impressed.
You have events.
You do.
What are your events?
Yes.
So
So
people can support.
yes. So our next event is actually the Junkin' Jam. So one of our corporate partners does this big fundraiser event every year where it's a basketball game. So it's like a charity basketball game. It's
Okay.
April 6th. I believe at 1:00 is when it starts. But you can like check out our socials. It's you know, you can see all about it. But it is us and one other organization. So they pick 2 nonprofits to support each year, and
Okay.
so that's our next big thing is
Awesome.
Junkin' Jam, and then
Junkin' Jam.
one of our other corporate partners does an event for us every year as well. With Austin Sign Co. And so we are expecting to have an event with them probably in June or so. And that is a like happy hour, come hang out. Like we'll have silent auction, but it's really a like we're just hanging out, having a good time, doing all that great stuff. And then we also have our birthday party every fall. So
Okay.
date TBD on that because it's still several months away. But every October we have a birthday party to celebrate. So this year we are officially going to be turning 6. And
Okay.
so
Wow.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
What do you have your date for?
we don't have the
okay.
date for the birthday party yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said to be determined.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Will you share all of that with us? I mean, we'll go.
Yes.
We'll follow it on your
Mhm.
social, and then just make us a partner, and we'll just.
So
Yeah.
the Austin
on.
Sign Co. is Speak Up and Give Back charity event.
Yeah, so that's that was the one we did last year. So we are still in the works for planning it this year.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, come out, speak up, do what you need to do.
Become
to
an ally.
Become an ally. Help your neighbors and get connected.
36 to 40% of your neighbors.
Yes.
Mhm.
Staggering number.
Yes.
Staggering.
Yes.
Men and women.
Yes.
Men and women.
Yeah.
And we are here because we want to get the word out, and we're
Yes.
so impressed by you, CG. You are a giver for sure.
Yes.
And
Hands
I
down.
want to cry.
I know.
Thank you so much for having me
No,
on
thank
your
you
show.
so
This is
much.
wonderful.
Come back
Yeah.
often. Share anything with us.
Yeah.
We're down for it.
100. Texas, Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.